Hello and welcome to Kinda Keto with Donna. On today's episode, I am going to be doing a bunch of prep stuff. Just kind of a dreary day today. Got the day off, and I just want to do a couple of backup things. So I am definitely going to do my Wonder Bread chaffles, which if you've seen other videos, I use lots of. So I like to just knock out 8 at a time. I want some bagels. I have 3 different recipes for bagels. I'm going to do, this is a dairy-free, not fathead dough bagel, but this one does not have yeast. So I will leave you links for all the ones that I do underneath. So what do you think of my shirt? I'm kind of an Italian girl, so I love my mafia movies and mob movies and all that kind of stuff. So I got my mob shirt on today. Only I think it's pretty. The shoulders are down here. I think it's a little too big for me. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. But isn't it really cool? Should I still wear it or like stupid in it? Well, anyway. I got these organic Pete and Jerry's egg whites, and I was dying to do some stuff with it. I know I've had several recipes where I've had 3 egg whites, 5 egg whites, and you're using a lot of eggs. And I've already got my dry ingredients here, so I'm just going to whisk them up real quick. And then in another bowl, I'll get the wet ingredients. Just getting my wet ingredients together, and I have never used liquid egg whites, I don't think. So I've got the egg whites in there. I've got 2 egg yolks. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of the unsweetened almond milk. Oh no! Those for you Spanish-speaking folks out there. 3. And 1 tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar. I always shake it up first because it's got the good stuff in there. Okay, and lastly, some of the coconut oil. And the coconut oil I have is unrefined, and they want you to use refined so you don't have a coconut taste. I don't taste it in there, so I'm fine with it. I've made this plenty of times. It didn't say it. I assumed it was melted, so I melted a 1/4 cup and let it cool a little bit, so I think it's fine now. I'm just going to put all that in there and whisk that up and forge ahead and put them together. Now this recipe actually makes 8 bagels, but I only do 6. I like them a little bit bigger, so if it fits in your carbs for the day, do however many you want. I'm doing 6. And I think it's a good idea to separate them first, kind of ball them up, and see if they're the right, if they're similar in size. Because sometimes you have to borrow Peter to pay Paul before you start forming them, because then you'd form, 4 or 5, then you realize you had this little dinky one for your last one. So I think these look about even, and now I'm going to get ready to form them. I just make a disc and poke a hole in it. And it's fun. Easier than rolling into a tube and then trying to stick the 2 sides together. I like it this way. You can do an egg wash on them. I usually don't bother. I have olive oil on my hands just to make sure it didn't stick. But here, I'll put olive oil a little bit on the bagel instead of the egg wash. And then I'll do 3 with the everything and 3 plain, because sometimes I like cream cheese and jelly on my bagel. And then my oven is preheating at 375, and they bake for about 23 minutes, depending on your oven. Okay, while the bagels are cooking, I'm going to make some Wonder Bread chaffles. And if you have seen any of my other videos, you know I love my Wonder Bread chaffles. They're cheeseless, great substitutions, obviously for sandwiches, and I use them for avocado toast, all sorts of things. So that's next. Now the good thing too, this is the smallest you can get. I'm going to try to make a couple things with this, if not all in one day, and maybe not all on this video, but I'm going to try to use it up. If not, egg whites do freeze well. So also if you're doing something that you do need egg yolks, like hollandaise sauce or eggnog, I have a few recipes that use just egg yolks, mayonnaise. Sometimes I use a whole egg, sort of depends. But if you have leftover egg whites, of course you can just if you just have a little bit, you can just add it to an omelet or something. But if you have a good amount left over, it does freeze well.
Okay, this comes together really easily, and I just love making a batch of these. So, like I said, I'm going to make 8 Wonder Bread chaffles, and I have already sifted some almond flour. And that is 3/4 of a cup for the 8 chaffles. And then I've whisked 4 eggs, so I'm just going to throw that and just put everything together. It is easier if you whisk the eggs first. Okay, so 4 eggs. Got a 1/4 cup of mayo. I don't have any homemade mayo. That's your best option. I have Duke's mayo, which is probably the 3rd best option. There's Primal Kitchen. There's a couple other good brands out there, but they are very pricey. So I do tend to try to make my own when I can. So it's a 1/4 cup. Okay, and then baking powder. 1 teaspoon for this whole batch. It's only a 1/4 teaspoon for the regular, just a 2 for a batch. Okay, 1 teaspoon baking powder. And one last ingredient, water, a 1/4 cup of water. And that is a batch of Wonder Bread chaffles. And it is wonderful. It's a beautiful batter, and you just put about a 1/4 cup per chaffle in your chaffle maker, and you got Wonder Bread chaffles. Okay, close and cook for 3.5 to 4.5 minutes, depending on how you like it.
Okay, now once they're completely cooled, I'm going to get them ready to put in the freezer. So last time my husband bought some bread, he still has regular bread once in a while, but he does like these chaffles. I even have Wonder Bread chaffles stickers on the back, so I know what they are when they're in the freezer. So I'm going to put some in there. And even though I don't recall these really sticking much, like regular keto bread, but I just make little parchment papers, and I just put them in, and in between 2 or 4, depending on how many papers I've got. And honestly, also saving tip, I've reused these. I mean, these aren't greasy and dirty and all. I mean, it's just bread, pretty much. So when I take these out, I put them in a little Ziploc bag, and I save them for things just like this, or if I do have keto bread or something like that. But I still like a little extra level of protection in the freezer, so I do still put it in a Ziploc bag, just to be on the safe side. Okay, and then there are my Wonder Bread chaffles that I can grab at any time. Oh, they're so beautiful. I love making these. Like I said, I have 3 different recipes, and I do go back and forth, mostly with 2 of them. But I wanted to use those egg whites, and I thought they came out just beautiful. I also like to mix up a couple different bags of my own taco seasoning, and you don't have to buy the stuff in the store that's got a bunch of crud in it. So I'm going to make 3 of them today. So I did put a little pepper in there already. I just thought it'd be kind of a pain to get it out of this thing, and I want to waste time, but that's got pepper in it already. And I try to kind of go from light to dark so I can use the same or very minimal of the measuring spoons and all that kind of thing. And I love these nice longer, thinner ones because they fit in the spice jars much better. So we're going to start off with some salt. mix everything together. And voila! 3 things of taco seasoning. Okay, so I've got my last one, and I always put what it is in a little snack bag, and sometimes I even reuse the bags. I got my little sticker on there so I know what's in there. I mean, just for the seasoning. Zip it up nice and fresh, and I've got 3 packs of taco seasoning. Anytime I want a taco bowl, it's just much easier to throw in with a little bit of water and your ground beef, and you've got taco meat. Well, I got a lot done today. I love days like that. I'm a homebody, so I just like just kind of prepping stuff, and that way, when you are busy, it's easier to grab and go. If I want a bagel the next day, that I know I want a bagel, I just pop it out of the freezer, and honestly, I cannot tell the difference. So I think it's great. Well, I hope you liked that video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and of course, consider subscribing. And check out one of my other videos.